So my list of things today that I wanted to check in on were just in terms of like the exercises. I want to check in with front ochos meets mountain climber, how your clamshell, the pendulum, the side plank is going.
Okay. All right.
And like the speed skater pushing off side to side thing.
Okay, good. I've been doing all those until I had some setbacks this week. Last Wednesday, I did something to one of my legs on a 4-mile walk. So I didn't walk Friday. It got better. Monday, I walked the 4-mile hill walk. And last night, this morning it's better, but I was in so much pain on one of my legs. I'm not stretching. I'm not used to this much walking. I'm going to cut down from my new 3 days to 2 days, just Monday and Friday. But so there were some days when I didn't do those things, but I'll do them now, gently. So
well, let's look at what's hurting and where it is, and maybe I can help you a little bit with that.
Okay.
And then just my other things, I wanted to do turns and boleos today as the applying the stuff.
Okay, good. All right. So let's see if I have my thing. I'm gonna need to turn my thing so that you can see my feet.
Yes, and I want to see, so explain to me which part of your body's been hurting and if you know what thing has been setting it off.
So what happened when I was walking, all of a sudden I got this groin muscle cramp.
From walking?
Walking, yeah, hill walking. And it's happened before. It seems to be, I don't know, doing this and this helped loosen it up. But it's kind of, I don't know. It's okay.
But it looks like you're also tight here.
Yeah. So the mountain climbers I've been doing with a little help.
That's okay. Help is good. Oh, look at that. I haven't seen one of those for a while.
This is my not traveling, just investing in my fitness equipment. So
that's good because you'll use it for decades.
Yeah, and it was on sale. So the mountain climber.
If you turn that, actually, yeah, that's good. Because I don't have to see your feet. I actually want to see your middle.
Can you see it?
I can, but I think the way that you're doing it isn't going to be doing. Maybe we just need to be careful on those today and do them next week. But I didn't buy anything on sale, so I've got this thing.
Okay.
So what I want to make sure, because it looks like what you're doing is this, which is okay, but what I prefer to have it is that you really have your shoulder blade. When you're up like this, I can't tell if your shoulder blades.
Oh, okay. So more of a plank position.
Yeah, and again, you don't have. It can be very high. You could do an inclined plank, but I really the reason I was having you do these was to keep that shoulder blade, like belly button. You're starting to sag. Careful. So come on back up. Belly button. Yeah. So there are two pieces of it. One is this has to not sag, but the other part is that right here is like a plank.
Okay.
So I guess what I was seeing that your upper body was kind of curved, and I really wanted for building the embrace.
Okay. So tell me when I get straight.
Okay. And now take your belly button up like a 1/2 inch. Yeah, there. That's great. Now, from tailbone to head, it's going to stay like that. And go ahead and do the ocho ones, this light flip of the hip. Yes, and then let it come through around. That's better. Okay, and take a break because you started to fall.
Okay, which leg comes around?
What I do is I do it as if it's an ocho.
Oh, okay.
But can you see how my upper body is not going anywhere?
Okay.
So actually on that thing is even better than the floor. Yeah, so you flip the hip. Okay, the feet are now doing about the right thing. That's interesting because I think I'm crossing my midline and you're not, but that's enough of those for today, especially if you've been hurting.
Okay,
I think. Can you see my feet?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, they're not crossing like a mage.
I'm actually, thank you, Kat. You don't need the help. So
Okay.
what I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to make a figure 8 with my toes.
Okay.
But don't do a lot more because I don't want you to hurt yourself. But flip with the hip first. So flip the hip as the leg comes up, just like an ocho, right?
Like here?
As your free leg, let's see if I can do this slow motion. So, no, stop for a second. Stop. I feel that you're trying to bring your leg up and through, and I'm actually going flip to start the move, I hope. So I'll do it again and you tell me. If I'm not, then totally fine. But I'm here, and what I do is I want to flip. And I feel like you're doing up and over and around. Does that look different?
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying
flip.
to get, and
Flip.
the leg comes up. Flip as the leg comes up.
Flip.
And then go ahead and crisscross
Flip.
your thighs. It comes down
Flip.
and replaces your other leg. That was much better here.
okay, so I'm getting the idea of flip, 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 flip.
And then as you flip it, what I'm trying to do with my feet, and then don't do this anymore because that's enough today. I can see you getting tired. Is as I come up, like flip, I'm actually see how I'm trying to replace my other leg?
Oh, okay, so
See how it's going across?
okay, so you are bringing that foot in like I was, just not quite when I was. Okay.
And what I was trying to do is make it as related to the hip flip. That that my core is lifting my knee up as I'm flipping with my hip, and then I'm kind of just go ahead and slide it down your other thigh. Yep, yes, like that, but with the flip. Yes. So it's putting those two things together, and you don't have to go that far back. That looks much more fluid.
Okay. Good.
Does that feel different here?
Yeah. I really have to work that. I get so lazy there. Dang.
We all do. We all do. Especially my cat. You see my cat?
Okay. Okay, one down.
And I feel that you have a better idea of what I'm. And again, this is something that I made up, but I showed it to my chiropractor, and he was like, "That's great, what I just showed you." So
good.
He approves deeply. He said that will work middle of your back, core, psoas, all sorts of things. How is your leg feeling at this point?
That really helped it.
Okay, good. Just loose. I'm just wondering if you did something to your psoas from what you said, from where it's hurting, and you could have just tweaked your psoas. So that definitely warmed it up. But if it's not hurting, that's good.
Yeah, I seems like the walking, usually this time of year, Sam and I are traveling and we do a lot of walking, and that has happened to me on flat ground as well as hills. It's just an overuse because I don't know, just an overuse thing that happens to me.
The other thing you can think about for that, just in general, is when I hike and walk, I still think about pushing off my feet, right? Pushing off my feet. If you start just kind of throwing your feet around and flopping them, like if you're just kind of throwing your feet because you're tired, sometimes you can do other funny things. So really still think about feeling your foot on the ground just like we do in tango. And enjoy that, how your foot, when you're hiking, just how your foot articulates through on each step is still driving you forward, especially uphill. You do have that lift of the psoas to get your leg higher on the hill, but you still have to think about the foot behind you doing the work.
Oh, okay, yeah, I feel that.
So maybe more glutes.
I've been wearing my correct toes.
Yeah, but
and
less.
I realize I kept my correct toes on during a whole ballet class last week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I do that too. Nice. Let's do wag your tail next.
Okay, so those are. Oh, okay. This guy.
Yeah. We'll do some of these other ones next time. We don't have to do them all at once. So this is where I was saying that you want to really work on hugging your free foot to the side, like this, so that when you're lifting, you don't lean. That you have you still have that give in your feet. So, and I also find it's really important to really put your foot right down the middle there. Okay, and the big toe is just kind of hugging the floor, and your insteps just hugging the side of the disc a little bit. So I can feel my free leg has fallen to the ground.
Okay.
My kneecap is soft.
So is your heels dragging along there too?
If I were in high heels, yes, and these not quite.
Okay. They don't quite reach, but.
Okay, well, as long as you are hugging the side of the disc and you're not holding your leg up, we're good. And then what I want you to do is see if you can start that here. See how I'm barely using my arms?
You know what I have to do? I still have us on 2 screens. Here we go. Now I can see you bigger. Okay.
Okay. When I do that to you, then I can't see if I'm standing in the right place. So I have to that's why I have the big TV on. So when I'm doing these, I'm really trying to do them here. That's right through my middle. Wag, 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 wag. And what I imagine is, what I want you to think about on this that I'm not seeing is I want this sort of record, this is the turntable on the record. Okay. And it's smooth.
Yeah.
And none of the records are warping above it. I'll do it on my bad foot. And see if you can just wag back and forth. You don't have to go around. Just think about wag, 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 wag. Can you see the folds in my t-shirt?
Yeah.
So I'm imagining that this isn't going anywhere at all, and it's only moving below that. I'm also trying to do that, but that's what I'm imaging. Relax your elbows, relax your hands. Go ahead and let them droop. Let your arms fall to the ground rather than out here. Yeah. Lift in your core. Wag, wag, wag. Watch Elizabeth fall. You were watching me because we both fell over the same direction.
Stop falling.
Changing feet. So keeping that big toe on the ground and keeping your heels nice and strong together. So you've got your heels connecting like you've got a magnet. You've got your calves and your knees and your thighs collecting like you've got a magnet. And that helps you really adjust. See how I can even bounce on that? That the whole thing is on balance. It may not be a straight line, but it's really springy. And that's what's going to give me the ability to do Boleos on this. We'll get to that in a second. Because you saw when I said Boleo and get ready, you took all these muscles down the outside of your body and you went, good, and then you tried to move.
Oh.
So that's me looser, yeah. And I think what I'll have you do for the Boleos is actually hang on to the wall even instead of the chair, so you have something 100% hold holding you up for sure. So, we haven't done this exactly before, but what I want you to think is wag, 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 boleo. Wag, 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 boleo. Wag, 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 boleo. So 3 wags and 1 boleo. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And breathe. So can you tell how much better your balance is getting? You could not have done this.
Yeah, totally.
That's much better.
So tell me if this is right. As I was practicing this week, I was thinking of how we get to our maximum twist and then the leader will take us a little further.
Well, so yeah, you can't go further than your maximum.
Well, okay, so I was imagining at my kitchen counter that my twist is about this much.
Uh-huh.
And then the leader would go, wow. No.
Okay. So,
not right?
That may happen a lot, but what I would like to think about it as is that the leader is turning again. So they're basically getting you on balance. What they should be doing is pretty much leading you as if you're going to do a back ocho, if you're doing a back boleo. And as you're turning to there, then they add a little to their extreme, which sends you to your extreme. So you're both going to your extreme, but because your leg is heavy, if you time it correctly, your leg will do things that make that look much larger because it's relaxed and it's 30 pounds a leg. So you may not feel that, it's not that you go to extreme and then you stop and they do this, that it feels smoother than that. But really you can't go further than your extreme.
Okay, so
there are ways the leader can move to make you go further around in different kinds of boleos, but in terms of like your average boleo, your leg is swinging in your hip joint. And as it goes, it's going to travel all the way from your core out to your big toe and come back. Bum, bum. That's better. Now, how long does it actually take to get out to your foot? And on the front ones, I'm seeing good timing on the front ones because you have fewer times you've done them before, right? So the bad habits are very small. You're undoing them faster. On the back one, I know because I've danced with the same people, they want you to snap your leg and do a fast move. And so your brain is trying to get your foot out there maybe a hair earlier than it needs to be. So I'd like you to do, since the disc allows you, it really takes the friction off the floor. So it helps you be able to really have some time. And I want you to think about, you flip in your middle, and you're going to do this fast enough that your leg kind of flops. But I want you to think, how late does your leg start when you do that? You go to your extreme, and then the leg goes. Go to your extreme, and then the leg follows after that. So that's before your extreme. I'd like you to actually hang onto the wall with both hands, because that will allow you in the recording to see your timing better, because it's straight on from behind. So do the 1, 2, 3, or 1 or 2. Wag tail, go. Feel the difference between just wagging your tail, which is basically like the ocho, and the boleo. And breathe. That one was better. Can you feel how long your leg is? Imagine your leg is heavier and longer than it really is, and it's going to take longer to go to that position than you think. And change feet every couple, because I don't want you getting worn out from yesterday. I want you to protect your body now.
So I feel like I'm waiting on that last wag. Should I make all the wags the same length of time?
Let's see if I can explain this. As again, these are the weird exercises I made up to improve my dance. So I will try to explain them better, because I haven't taught them to many people. All right. When I twist, can you hear me here? I'll move the, excuse me, cat, you're in the way of the microphone. All right. So when I wag, I don't slow the wag down, but what I do is my leg is heavy and it takes a while after that wag. Can you see how long it takes my leg to get there?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're doing the wag correctly, but then it's almost like your foot wants to go a little too fast. So I feel like you've got all the pieces, but sometimes this happens early. I'm exaggerating. It doesn't look that bad. But see how that doesn't look like it fits in with my middle?
Yeah.
You want it so that it's because your foot is waving the bottom of the leg, and it goes because the twist eventually travels down, and it will feel too late.
So if the leader wants that Boleo, they're going to have to wait for it.
Yes.
Okay.
If they want you to actually do what they've led, instead of giving them a leg kicky like thing and coming back and saying, what would you like next? You want them to feel it go through your body like a wave at the beach, right? You want them to feel that energy twist around your body, down your leg, out your foot, and kaboom. That's the moment where it speeds up, really, is that the leg is so free that it falls back under you. It zips under you, not because you gripped it, but because it released. Thwack. The thwack is right at the end. Right there is where it actually relaxes. Right at the end. That one was better. Better. Try the other leg. Those are starting to look much, much better, Stephanie.
Oh, good.
Now this is the leg that you've done the most, so this is gonna be the hard one to make it slow down. Okay, cat. The cat is like, please let me go out the front door. I don't know why. Okay, go. What? Why do you want to go outside? Okay. And go. That one's still a little early, but better. And you'll know it's early because you'll feel your back, instead of lengthening, you'll feel like it kind of picked up to your old tailbone thing. Right? Long front, long back. Better. Now imagine that wave so that when your thigh goes back, it takes a while to get that to your foot. It's not one piece. There are lots of pieces there. That was better. So you find it, wag the tail and go. And that was a little bit of a push. Wag the tail and go and let it go. Wag the tail and let it go. That was better. And let it go. That was early. And what you'll see on the video in those is that when it's early, you'll see your tailbone curl up, and like as you turn, when you try to push the moves, it has these things in it.
Oh, okay. All right.
When it's working correctly, it's like somebody lifted you at your abs, and all of this got longer.
Okay.
So let it go and stretch. And then stretch. The reason it looks fast is because the timing is being efficient. See if I can do this so you can see it while you're doing it, and I can still see you. So what I see happening is right here, I already see you tightening your leg a little bit. And what I'm trying to do is not tighten my leg. I am lifting. If I could have a little hook here and grab my belly fat and be like, that's where it's lifting. That's where it's stretching from, is middle of my core, rather than from that like toro, kick the leg back. And twist, and then you let go. So find the twist, let it go. Find the twist, and that whole time I'm lifting right under my belly button so that I don't do the little butt up in the air thing. And it's much better. And this side, you're doing it better. You have fewer times you've done it. It's learning faster. What I see on that side, when you stand on your left, what I see is your right hip is opening up nicely, where we talked about like the hip joint having space. And on the left, it wants to do all sorts of other things because it's been told to go fast. That's better. So wag a couple, wag, go. Wag back, wag front, wag go. Wag, wag, wag. Ooh, better. Ooh. Now, what I find interesting is that you end up with your foot off the floor back here. And for me, I can keep my toe on the floor through this whole move. So that says to me that something on the back of your body is tightening a little more than you need to. Yeah. And that leg is so long it can drape to the floor while you stand tall on your support leg. So your left leg has just sort of gotten an inch or two longer than your other leg. Yes. That's looking better. Does that feel different?
Yeah. It's taking some practice to lift from the core instead of
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm thinking in your hiking, I bet you're doing something like this, and that's why you're wearing yourself out here.
Yeah.
So staying aware of the same pieces through here while you hike, I bet will stop you having as much groin stretch.
My urban hiking.
Hey, urban hiking is all I do these days. Actually, I haven't even been doing that, but look, today is my first day I'm trying to dance without being taped.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well,
I have one more week to go, so I'm going to tape up if I have to dance with people. But,
yeah.
And my group class, I'll probably tape because I overdo it because I get too cheerleader because I want everyone to be moving. I'm like, everybody go, and afterwards it's like, oh, geez, what did I do?
Yeah, my blister scabs are just starting to peel off by themselves. I don't want to pull on them because then.
No.
I'm still Vaseline Band-Aids.
So now you get to do high Boleos, which you've been waiting for because I've been making you not do them. But here's what I want to do is just a little bit of high Boleo. And the hard part is when you get to that section where you want to bring your leg up, you badly want to do this kind of thing to bring it up.
Yeah.
And it's here. It's more open. So we're not going to twist on it yet. We're just going to do it in a straight line. The leg that is free is still touching the floor, and you're literally going to push it. And I want you to feel how long it takes to really get sent back there. So I'm really pushing it. Look how hard I have to push it to get it moving. And that's even with it hanging off the side, right? That's like this. If it's on the floor, I have to lift even more because I need that space to have that room to do that. And when it comes back, it does not hover. It is back on the floor. Yeah. So, and change feet whenever you want to, but what I want you to think about is hanging on, lifting through your center, and then when this leg swings back, again, you'll feel like if somebody could pick you up by right over here in mama belly, that when that leg swings, that you stretch right here. Which is different than arching your back right there, right? It's like somebody helped you, like you suddenly have Spanx on right there, like, whoa. Can you tell how much I just love Spanx? And push. And standing on the disc, you might end up moving a little bit, at least I am, because I'm not hanging on to anything, but I'm really trying to balance as much as possible, because I have to have some contra body in that moment if I want to really let it swing. Push off. Push off. Now, you don't have to do what I'm doing here, but what I'm doing to show you is I'm literally standing in the middle of the room, and because I'm pushing this, I have to counterbalance the other way. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Or I would absolutely fall off this thing. And here's where I'm feeling that. All the way up through here says, my gosh, you're stretching more than normal. That's a beautiful shape. Now I want you to do it because the leg went. So what you just did there, it was beautiful. It was like, la la, la la. But what it didn't have was, boom. Go kiss the chair. But see how my arms and my upper body counterbalance because my leg goes. This goes and it's a response rather than the ballet shape. And you're right, the ballet shape would totally go, everything reaches. So let's do and try it on the disc. So think about it.
Oh, disc, no wall. Okay.
All right. But can you see how, for me, this is what I think of in ballet. Everything reaching, right? That shape. Yes? So think, this is what you're used to in ballet, not on the disc probably. But right, like, and then like, right, what's it called? Like cocktail or something? You don't have to do that part.
Promenade.
Promenade, yes, promenade. Yes, so.
Okay, that, this is different.
Right, because instead of making it a shape where I have this long line, what I'm doing is I'm letting my legs swing, and as it's swinging, my upper body has to counterbalance as a result. So the upper body is going to twist a little later than you think because it's counterbalancing. So push your leg and then counterbalance. Push your leg and then counterbalance. And that will actually help because if you push your leg, it ends up twisting your body the correct direction. Push it. Don't just touch it.
Push it.
Give it a shot. Which means
okay.
Feel free to hang on to something to do this. Right? Yeah. I'm doing it in the middle because it's easier for you to see and because it makes it about even because I'm not in heels and you are, and I have done this for a lot of years.
So push
there,
from here.
Yes, and make sure that it doesn't turn out to ballet shape at the back. Right? That you're letting the legs swing. If it turns out, it turns out, but you're not shaping the foot right now.
But shape the foot.
Don't let for right now, the foot is just going to be almost limp.
Okay.
After everything else in your Boleo is perfect, then if we want to play with shaping your foot, then we'll talk about your foot.
Okay.
It's that unimportant. Pushing up. Pushing up. Pushing up. Pushing up. Nice. Now can you start that underneath you instead of just back and forth?
Start that underneath me.
Right. So what happened is we started here and then you started going swing, swing, swing. And I'm going swing, neutral. Swing, stretch. Swing, stretch. So let the leg go first. The upper body's going to twist after the leg goes. Better. So leg goes and then the body twists. Leg goes and then the body twists. And again, if you actually push your leg, it'll start the right pattern in your spine. So I'm not just touching my leg, I'm literally pushing it backwards. I'm actually, as if my leg is floppy and it needs help. That helps me learn it as if someone's leading me instead of just me moving my leg.
So
actually,
make it just hang there, but push it.
Make it hang there, and your hand is the leader, basically. The hand is leading your leg. So if you're really on balance and that leg's really loose at the hip, that's what your leader has to play with, is that weight. If you have your hip grabbed, they can't feel the timing for when they should do this. And that's part of why they have trouble with it, is most of us don't actually release at the hip.
Okay. Okay.
So feel the difference between the weight of the leg swinging, and then whack. What's the difference? The push off.
Leg swinging, I'm doing it from here. I'm gripping the muscles, pushing it. I should be these muscles. Yeah.
Right. And somebody else is doing this. It's your hand, but you have to pretend it's somebody else moving your leg. You're working so hard on lifting that there's room for someone to move your leg. It's looking better. And let it be heavy before you start. Yeah, you have lighter legs than I do, but you still have, it's still got that moment of, family van on gravel, right? As it starts moving, it's super slow at the beginning and it builds up. So it doesn't actually go fast at the beginning. And that's the leader's idea too, that they mess up, that they think it's this thing where they thrash your leg backwards.
Yeah.
It's actually slow speeding up. Think about how you want people to drive on your street. You do not want them to squeal their tires at the stop sign, right?
So
they've been doing that on my street, so I'm annoyed by it. So think about the leg is getting going after a stop sign, right? You hit the gas gradually until the car is in motion, right? Your leg is the car. Gradually it gets moving. If you want to go fast, you can't hit the gas faster at the stop sign. You have to just keep accelerating after the car is in motion. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now release it all the way. Complete stop sign, not California stop. I know you're from California, but
yeah, right, I know what that stop is. Okay.
Yep. Gradual acceleration. Gradual, and it goes. The last thing, it looks fast because your foot is moving fast at the end. So that's what the brain sees. It sees that part where your leg goes whack at the end. So slow to fast. Especially if you're doing a big one. Slow to fast. Slow to fast. Slow to rather than bah. Let it hit the floor in between. Let it hit the floor. Let it be heavy. 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 That's better.
That was not that bad.
Exactly. I'm going to see if I can make this where you can see my hand better, because I think that will make it clearer.
So here's a visual. If I let my leg act like a tennis ball at the end of a elastic.
Band. Yep.
Okay, just okay.
Yep.
So my foot is the tennis ball. My leg is attached here.
Right, and so see how hard I'm actually pushing my leg? That I'm actually moving my leg with my hand. I'm not just touching it and having it do something. I'm literally pushing on it. That if I didn't push, my leg wouldn't go anywhere. That actually all of this is my leg being pushed by my hand. See how long it takes to get to my foot? And I'm pushing hard because I have big legs. That's better. And then when you make it go higher, it's because that stretch we've been talking about here stretches all the way through here. That the Boleo is super stretched on the front of the body, not peeling tailbone up. When I do a big Boleo and someone leads me in it right, I feel the whole front of my thigh stretch.
But you're not stretching it, the tennis ball at the end is stretching it.
That's right, but I am lifting at the part that's attached to the stretchy band like crazy, right? The top of that band, right here, all of this is working so that when the tennis ball goes, I don't go flying off my balance. That's better, and right at the end, you grabbed in your lower back. Better, and then allow your leg to be softer, so if you push hard enough, your foot will go up higher only because you've swung, basically you've got the kid on the swing and you overdid. Think about when you push an empty swing, and if you push as hard as with a kid in it, at the top it kind of goes before it comes back. That's sort of your foot. You push the swing a little too hard and something's out of control at the back, which is your ankle and your foot. That's much better. I feel like your whole body's in balance now and it's more sequential, so that is good.
Okay, I'm going to have to do that. What takes about 250 repetitions for the brain to actually remember it?
You get that pathway. And so I would like you to do them slower than you like, because when you do them faster, you get into getting all the reps in and then you start doing other things just to keep it going. So what I'm suggesting is you do just these in a straight line small, straight line big, right? Twist, 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 right? That if you're on the disc, It really helps you because you have to stay on balance. But I do want you to hang on to something. Don't do it in the middle like I'm doing it right now. I'm just doing that so you can see me. So I would prefer if you do it where you have, like swing, pivot, pivot, swing, swing, pivot, pivot. Can you see how I'm just using it for a little bit of stability? And if you have that stability right in front of where you're standing, basically enough off that you have room where you don't kick it, but enough that it's really, it's near your middle, so you don't have to hang. I feel like that's helpful. So here's your homework. Push the leg, push it harder. Wag the tail harder. Push the leg harder. Wag the tail harder. And just getting those two pieces that eventually will be the twist and the leg all at the same time. I'm going to write that down so I remember that I told you that.
Okay.
That's amazing. There's already fine dust on top of this, and I just put it down when we started having class.
Oh, wow. That's smoke.
Well, we have single pane windows, and we've been going through it and buying Indo windows that are inserts to make it more, to make it like a double pane.
Yeah.
But we don't have this room done because they'd be like $1,000 each.
Yeah. So wag, push the leg.
Right. So what I would say is you can do them any order you want, but I was doing push the leg like a linear boleo first.
Okay. Push.
And then wag. So you're doing basically linear boleo, high linear boleo, like back ocho twist, low ocho. So if you want, you could do three on the wag, and do it like ocho, low boleo, high boleo. And the other one is just small and big linear boleos.
So push. So two pushes.
Yep.
Then
Push.
linear.
Higher, wag to a boleo, wag to a high boleo.
Okay. So push, linear boleo, wag, low boleo, wag, high boleo.
You've made that more pieces than I put in, but I'm going to do the whole thing once here, so when you see it then, you'll be able to cheat off of that. So, got it. And I'll do my bad leg for standing. All right, so you have push and just get that leg going, push higher. So so low linear boleo, high linear boleo, back ocho, low back boleo, big back boleo. So it's 5 things. So you've got straight back small, straight back big, small pivot, bigger pivot, big pivot.
Okay. So push, linear,
And then wag.
wag,
Small, large.
okay.
Right. Now, we'll do the turns next time. What I want you to start thinking about now is let's get off of the boleo, off of the disc, and let's think about boleo patterns you've been led in that we need to undo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so connecting them into moves in the dance.
Yeah, and honestly, I never really had any instruction in boleo except at Valentango. I went to a couple boleo things, but the teacher who taught me steps and more focus on partnering skills kind of would do Boleos, but I never really had specific instruction on Boleos. So they either worked or they didn't. I know.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So, I feel like Boleos are super hard to do well for the leader and the follower, and no one, because they're hard, people cheat through them and they never actually teach how they really work. Because when you say, you know what, it's gonna be a couple of years for these work without a hitch, Americans aren't into that. They're like, that's not fast enough.
Yeah.
Right? That we need, like, Argentines take class the rest of their lives in tango. Europeans take class the rest of their lives. Americans are like 6 months and I'm out of here. Yeah, and especially if it's like a Boleo, they want to do it in 1 hour. If you say this is going to take you a couple months, they don't come back to class. And so I think that the way people tend to teach Americans is to cater to that and say, well, that's close enough. And the reality is we don't have good Boleos for a really long time. And then it's really hard to change them. But it's hard because Americans walk out of classes.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
I mean, talking to my friends who teach in Europe and teach in Japan and teach in Argentina, they all prefer to teach those places than the U.S. because they said that we want everything immediately.
Like, because we're the McDonald's people.
McDonald's of tango, yep.
Right.
So, exactly. So, in Boleos, can you think of a pattern? Like, what do people usually do? They do like a back ocho to a Boleo to you or a turn? What was the thing that you usually got led as a pattern in Boleos?
I'm trying to think.
If you don't remember, then that's fine. But
No, I'll remember. Let's see. Front step, maybe a side step, and then a Boleo.
Okay. Now, as you walked through that, because you've been taught that, you started to lift your foot and your hip sooner than all the ones you just did that were very nice.
Oh.
So,
okay.
So what I want you to think about is you're going to go salida and side step. I don't want to. Oh, okay. Instead of, oh, you wanted a Boleo, right?
Okay. Side step.
And at the last minute, and notice how mine did not come off the ground. I just kept my big toe on the ground as long as I could and came back. Because for me, leading a side step like that into a Boleo is, as a follower, I expect a nice small Boleo before we do something else. Rather than whack into something. And better. That was pretty. Did that feel different?
Yeah.
That one you punched. Soft. Side step, it's too soon. You'll see that you started moving your foot back before you even pivoted. So you have to remember, it's just an ocho. Oh, it's more than an ocho. Assume on each of those steps that it's only an ocho and then it goes after that.
I'm trying to think of the Argentine teachers that I learned did most of my Boleo work. It's a couple, they're married, they live in Florida. Maxi and Paloma.
Oh, they live in Florida? I didn't know that. That would explain why they're at all the festivals, is because people don't have to pay visas on them.
Yeah, and also explain why their performance has now got all that gymnastic stuff in it, which I don't really like. But that's kind of an American thing lately.
It is, yeah. So, in those moves, what I would like you to think about is when you do the Boleo, you're doing a good job now. We've worked on making it come back to a neutral, so that when you did this, if you're led in it, where you could go salida, Boleo, and then you could step backwards because you're really on balance, ready to go. Because in Portland, salida, Boleo, and come back to neutral and walk backwards. Yeah, so you should be able to be so on balance there that you could go to neutral so you could just step. Now, no one in Portland except me leads this, because no one in Portland has been taught that, so they all do this. Salida, big Boleo, come through front ocho.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with leading a front ocho after that move. But it's because people have thrown their leg and they're off balance and they have to keep going. If you can actually release your leg so all the energy is gone, then the leader could choose to turn you and have a front step. but they could have you go any direction because you've actually released that. You're ready to go any direction instead of only front.
So this front step is more like a balance saver.
Yes. Yes. Because people aren't actually, you'll notice that if you punch your leg, it's hard to come back to neutral. And so rather than neutral, you have extra momentum, it takes you forward. So if you have a really nice move, you're through here, you could pivot and go. But I want you to be able to do that as having gone through neutral instead of I'm still moving. Yep, nice. That was too early. You took your leg with your pivot. Wag your tail and leg. Better. Notice how you stayed more on balance. You didn't have to grip as many things.
Yeah, that's from twisting on that the disc. Really encourages. Oh, and the other thing I've done is I turned my Bosu upside down, so I stand on the flat part.
Yes.
And it's like kind of like your balance board thing.
Yes, it's great. I've been doing Adornos on that.
That's really been helping me. I have it in our spare bedroom and just on the floor next to something, and I go in there a few times a day and play on it.
Now notice how you're doing that, going side step, boleo, and recover. Notice not once did you try a front boleo there, and that's because in Portland, nobody leads that. But there's the same move going side. If they turn you the other direction, you would get a front boleo. So I'd like you to practice side, front boleo. That's a back boleo. Yeah, not back and then front. Only. So side, neutral, neutral, and walk out. See how you fell over there? So there, when you do the front one, something's not coming back to neutral. That you're still tight somewhere. That can you feel how it's pulling you sideways? You're having to really grip in your knees to do that. So it's also you're not pivoting your foot. So you're going side and moving everything but your foot. So remember you have to pivot, boleo, come back. So this is your homework. Oh, and you'll notice that you're cheating by going like this on your way there. So your homework on boleos, yes, is side step, like onto the disc probably. How about that? And don't do this on the wall. But then you do side step onto the disc, pivot to your front boleo, and come back to neutral. So you're going to go side, get on balance, front boleo, small or big as you like, and come back. Do you have the disc that has some resistance?
I have one like this. I have both of those.
Okay, cool. Because those will be better for this. Let me see which one I like. I forget.
The one that comes back.
So this is the green one. What happens is you do the boleo. Yeah, I think I want the black one. If you step onto the black one and you twist for the boleo, it's going to bring you back. So it's harder to get going, but it's going to bring you back.
So is that the one that has a little spring in it?
Yeah. But you might want to try to, if you've got all three, you might try it on the green first and then on the black.
Okay. Well, I have two. I have the one that just goes round and round.
Right.
And then the one that kind of wants to spring back.
So I've got the green has a medium spring.
Yeah.
And the black has a super spring.
Oh, I have the green.
Good. That's the one I want you to use anyway. So it'll help you, and you can hang on to the wall to do this one. But what you'll do is you're going to step sideways because we've just been starting on it. I want you to get onto it as your first piece. So you're going to take a side step onto balance and then twist. Side step, and then twist. And I want you to work on the front ones because you like the back ones, so you do them a lot.
Okay. So
Side and front boleo. And then go back off of it again. Yep. side step, and then front boleo, and side off again. Nice. You're going to do that with the one with a little bit of a spring in it, and you'll feel that when you get to your extreme, it wants to come back. Boom, and back. And make sure that when you finish the move, that you're not falling sideways. You have your side step onto it, do your boleo, finish your boleo on balance, and then push off of the move. Up. Yes. So get on balance, do the boleo, get off balance. Yeah. Get on balance, do the voleo, lump. Yes, and make sure that you don't swing the free leg before the tail wag, right?
Okay.
So you can't just start swinging. This makes you slow down, because you have to get on balance before you go, and then you have to swing, and then you have to get on balance before you go. And you may practice that front or back, but I really want you to practice them front, because you have fewer hours doing that. Oh my gosh, it's after 10. How did that happen?
Oh, because we're having so much